Millions are quitting their jobs during this so-called era of the Great Resignation, or they're moving on to other industries. They're leaving current employment and getting on to a job that might pay more or might allow them new opportunities. Now, we've all heard of exit interviews when somebody leaves a company. Now some companies are holding stay interviews designed to keep employees from leaving and walking out the door. Here to explain this new trend is workplace and employment expert Andy Challenger, Senior Vice President of Challenger Gray and Christmas. Good morning to you.
Morning. Thanks for having me.
What is a stay interview?
Yeah.
What in the actual is a stay interview?
It's a new trend. It is something that is definitely in response to the Great Resignation or the massive amount of turnover that companies are seeing. With people leaving left and right, companies are trying to figure out new ways to convince people to stay. And part of that is asking them directly what's going to keep them in the job, whether it's just purely about compensation, they're going to another role because they're going to get paid more, have better benefits at another company, another industry, or if it's more about the internal corporate culture, like asking them if they feel like they have a path upward through the organization, if they can really see themselves there in the future. And hopefully that brings some deep intelligence to the company that can help convince people to stay.
But it's just interesting because, I mean, it would appear that employees have more leverage in these conversations because bosses and company presidents, they don't want people, especially good people, great people at their job, to leave. And they're so much more important. So what's something that an employer needs to know based on what's the current trend, and what's something that an employee needs to know if they're called into one of these stay interviews?
Yeah, I mean, I think employers should know that if they're asking for these questions, they're going to be on the hook for delivering on some of the things that their employees ask for. So that's kind of the double-edged sword of asking for those questions, is you better be able to deliver on it. I think for employees, just come in knowing that this is a job seeker's market. This is a time to be truthful about what you want. Don't hold back. If it's about the corporate culture, if it's about feeling like you belong in the organization, or if it's purely about compensation, let them know truly what you want, because this is the point of maximum leverage for employees to make changes within their companies.
So here is my final question for you. Are companies retaining top talent? Because I think that for a lot of industries, I mean, I've talked to HR professionals. There are a lot more people under stress right now. There are a lot more people seeking work-life balance. And then there are some, unfortunately, because of all the stress and mental health issues, they are dealing with drug battles again, or alcohol again at a much higher level. Are companies able to have the best of the best stay with them, or are they moving on because of a better opportunity and a better package?
Yeah, I mean, I think the smart companies are figuring out how to keep their key people. They know how important those handful of stars that they've developed over the years are and how quickly and easily they can leave. Yeah, it is a tough time to hang on to talent. But the companies that are being responsive to people, they're really hearing and listening to them in formats like a stay interview. They're able to keep them through this period. But when we talk to employers, clearly burnout and this desire for more flexibility is the number one reason people are leaving.
Yeah, well, it certainly is a time where it's like the relationships at work and who you're working for, having the best boss of your life, not just the best job of your life, are certainly important too. Andy Challenger, thank you for being with us this morning. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.